Thank you for joining us. I'm here with Murt from the desk of Witness.
From the desk of Murt Witness 1.
From the desk of Murt Witness 1. You think I know that by now. So Murt is one of two people we have in the courtroom, along with Jules. Jules is posting on Twitter or X, and Murt is gracious enough to be posting in our chat. So if you guys have questions for him there, you can certainly ask him. If you have questions for him now, you can ask him as well. But we'll let chat develop a little bit here. So a lot more media today. I'm going to turn this around. I'll show you guys. So there is a lot more media today. Not a huge amount.
Well, Channel 6 is...
But definitely more.
Channel 6 is streaming live. There's a reporter from 35 with a laptop in the courthouse.
Yep.
And their camera is set up on here as well.
So I was talking to several of the reporters and the camera, and they said in this day and age, excuse me, with technology, you don't necessarily have to be here. You can just hook right into the stream.
Mm-hmm.
However, to do live reports like this, they have to obviously be here live. So hey, Kitschy, thanks for all the hard work. Excuse me, I had some nuts earlier. Denny Dawn, this is something, isn't it? Little Miss, Only Fan, Ellie, Rachel B, Candy Kitten. Hey there, thanks everybody. Thank you for joining us. Boy, have we had an action-packed morning. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's been quite something.
Quite something. All right, Murt, you want to just, was that on anyone's bingo card? No, Murt has so much to tell you. All right, Murt, take it, it's yours.
Well, a lot of what I had to say I said in the chat. They finished up with the detective today, the prosecution did, and then turned it over to the defense. And the defense attorney was trying like hell to emphasize that Sarah was tricked into coming to headquarters on the premise of picking up her phone, and that she was never advised she was going to be put under arrest until the end of the interview, that the detective may not have read all the Miranda rights, which was denied by the
Judge.
detective.
Oh, yeah, okay. And they had gone over this in a pretrial as well.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like new bombshells information.
Yeah,
You
it
kinda
wasn't
knew this was-
bombshell. It was just the defense was trying to get reasonable doubt established with the jury to say, well, we have these mean cops lying to this poor woman and not giving her Mirandas and tricking her into coming in to get arrested.
Right.
Which was totally wrong. The police does not have to tell you that they are going to arrest you when you come in. And they spent a long time with the interview in the station, which was put on this morning, trying to get her to comprehend what she did. And Sarah just kept saying, not intentional, I lost count. And and the detectives just kept trying to hone in. Look, the guy died in the suitcase. And she says, well, it wasn't intentional, I'm sorry he died, but, it wasn't my bad, and all this. And this kept going on. And then she says, when can I leave? When can I get my phone back? When this, when that? She actually thought that she was going to be able to leave that day. And they kept saying, we're going to get this all taken care of. And then it was the very last when they said, okay, get up, put the handcuffs on her, and took the swabs and all that stuff. They did take DNA swabs of her fingernails and so on and so forth. So, but then, the defense kept saying that she was tricked, she wasn't given her Miranda rights, she was told she was going to get her phone, and there was like a second meeting about the phone. They kept putting off giving her the phone, and the detective explained that while they intended originally to give her phone right away, they discovered the suitcase video they decided to hold on to the phone a little bit longer to make sure they had it properly processed.
Right.
And I don't believe she ever got the phone back because it wound up in court.
Well, when you find damning evidence of 2 videos of a man dying,
Yeah, well,
I think
you
the
know,
police are going to hold on to it.
when they come across that type of evidence, this direct evidence
Yeah.
of a crime,
Yeah.
they have the right to impound the phone, which they did.
Right.
You know, under normal circumstances, they go through the phone, they say, there's nothing here, there's your phone back.
Sure.
But they found direct evidence of a crime on that phone, so they have the legal right to take it into custody, which they did. And so, you know, it was just more or less a lame attempt by the defense to get into the jury's head that there's reasonable doubt that there was improper procedure, she wasn't given her rights properly, and all this.
Right.
And it fell apart. As the prosecution came back, asked questions of the detectives that cleared everything up, as far as why the phone wasn't given back right away, and was the Mirandas properly handled, and so forth, and that was that. But we spent a lot of time today going over stuff and a lot of sidebars, as you all saw, going over a couple objections that was raised by both the state and the prosecution. Prosecution. And so they got all these matters out of the way, and we got up to the point where, okay, we need to talk to Sarah before she testifies. And we had that break. They went in, they had their little discussion with Sarah, and then they came back out, talked a little bit about concerns with photographs and everything, and then the judge went into the instructions to Sarah to make her understand what she's doing, asked a whole bunch of questions, read the entire instruction, and she said yes, 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 and yes, and we thought, okay, here we go. We're gonna go to it, and immediately the defense put on the brakes. They said, we have all these pictures we want to bring in, and we have to have time to mark them.
Right.
So there was a big back and forth about these pictures. The judge said something to the effect, you had 45 minutes to get these things entered into evidence, and you're telling me you have to do this now? And so they went over and they said, okay, we're going to take an early lunch. You guys get these damn things numbered, get your ducks in a row so we can get on the road here
Yep.
at 1 o'clock, because, I don't want to be taking a break in the middle of her narration. Now, Sarah is going to be allowed to wander around the court. She's going to be able to approach the jury. She's going to be allowed to handle the suitcase. She's going to be allowed to handle the pictures that are going to be brought in, and they're mainly of her injuries, her claimed injuries that she's had because of Jorge. So, and that was essentially it. And then we had a couple small things happen. There were some women behind me that were chatting like magpies. And, they were having a real good time.
And that's a small thing.
Yeah. And then the bailiff came over and said, you guys need to quiet down. There's a microphone right over your head, and we're hearing everything.
Wow.
And I went, ooh. But, because everybody in the courtroom, or the galley, everybody was starting to talk.
Right.
As this thing was going on. And I know you guys were having a fit in the chat. I was reading the chat going, and unfortunately, because I was reading the chat, I didn't get my mug in the suite that happened that Jules got.
Oh, okay.
Her staring straight into the camera. I'm going, what? Here comes Jewel up on my screen. I'm going, what in the heck happened here?
So those women were escorted out, you said, right? Okay.
No, they were.
Oh.
Sorry, folks. They were told to shut up. They were allowed to remain because
okay.
I think one of them was media, but they were just going at it. And another thing that happened, I don't know if it was on camera or not, if anybody heard the bang, 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 But there was a roach on the floor going around, and this lady took off her flat and was going after it, and she was beating the floor. And all the lawyers and the judges going, what the hell?
We thought that was Jules.
No, Jules is innocent this time. Yeah, it's the woman. There was this woman right next. They had a row of about 5 or 6 women behind me, and and this first woman, she just took a shoe, was banging on the floor. Another woman was looking under the bench, and here comes this little roach going, splat. That was the end of the roach.
It is Florida after all, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
to be expected.
There's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah. Oh, in the courturroom, you see a
Yeah,
bunch.
but I had one. I turned to my left, and there's one crawling around on the wall. So I ain't hitting them all. I don't have a shoe. I ain't taking my shoe off.
Oh my gosh.
So the roach lived another day.
To bite somebody another day, call on somebody another day. All right, let's see. Okay, so that, what else happened? Well, this whole delay, chat was going crazy with that. And the jury. Everybody's asking, what did the jury? How did the jury react? I'm thinking the jury didn't know any of this because they're in the back room and they have no clue what's going on.
No, all this stuff is going on with the jury, not in the courtroom, because the jury was only brought in to be read instructions, said because we took a little longer than we were supposed to, we're going to break for lunch, everybody be back at 1 o'clock. And that was it with the jury. The jury didn't get to see any of this. And they didn't get to see the drama with the suitcase.
Right. So you have to keep that in mind, chat, when people are saying, how did the jury act? How did the jury react? They weren't there, at least through this part.
Yeah, this part they were not there. They were there for the questioning of the detectives and the defense counter, and then a little bit of cross by the prosecution. That when the lawyers wanted to get some of this other matters out of the way, they had a sidebar, went up to the judge, and then the judge dismissed the jury. So all this stuff happened after the jury was out of the courtroom.
Okay, OnlyFan, how did they react when they were told to go to lunch?
They seemed to be fine.
They were
with
fine,
it.
yeah.
They just said, okay, whatever you said.
Yeah.
Because everybody raised their hand and said yes to all the, do you understand?
Yeah.
And all that, and they just filed out.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to imagine that you're in this separate room. You have no clue. You theoretically shouldn't know anything about this case, or very small amount about this case, and you're just kind of at the whim, if you will, of the judge and the lawyers.
I served on the jury once, so I know this exact room. It's kind of like a conference room. Has this really long wooden table, and the chairs are all around it, and you basically just sit there. So normally what happens is there's a bunch of small talk. The bailiff will bring you water, refreshments.
How's the weather?
How's the weather?
Team doing?
How many kids you got? And what do you do? They get to know each other a lot during these breaks. And they just can't discuss the case in chief.
Right.
And then every once in a while somebody will probably say, I wonder what's taking so long. But but in the case I heard, we didn't have these humongously long breaks.
All right. So Little Miss says what she likes to hear from us is what you're not being shown on TV. So what can you give us as far as insider information, as far as attitudes, or how people are reacting? How's the gallery reacting? How's the jury reacting?
The jury is, for the most part, pretty calm. They're not any big reactions. Now, I have heard Jules say that she's seeing stuff, because I think Jules is spending more time looking at the jury and what they're doing, and between trying to observe the court proceedings and what you guys are saying online, I kind of get distracted a little bit. I'm not doing the best job in the world because I'm constantly reading the chat to see where you guys are at.
Sure.
As well as the
and
second
we appreciate
ear.
that.
Yeah,
we appreciate
I'm glad to help. And, had a second ear to see if I can catch things that the counsel everybody is saying in court, so that I can get on and kind of give spoilers, since I'm 5 minutes ahead of what comes out on the stream. So generally you guys are seeing the bulk of it. There's very little, this thing with the roaches and chewing out of the women probably didn't get on camera. And the noise probably did. I don't know if the feed was going out when she went crazy with her flats.
Yeah. We're pretty distracting, admittedly. Yes, therapists, you know.
Okay, now, the one interesting thing that did happen was that I had left the courtroom and then turned around and came back because I wanted to get my wallet. And everybody's standing in a circle, and here's the suitcase on the floor of the court. I guess that Sarah's going to use it in her narration. And the prosecuting attorney's got the box upside down, and the next thing I hear is, how the hell did that happen? And what had happened is apparently something fell out of the suitcase. Now, I've been told that it was probably paperwork for the evidence, how they fill out, mark this as evidence and stuff, and then put it in the box. But we really don't know. And all I know is something fell out of the suitcase. Everybody's looking around the suitcase. Sarah's looking at the suitcase. I think the intent was for her to play with the zipper a little bit. And, so there's all that. And again, if I haven't mentioned it before, Sarah is going to be allowed to walk around the courtroom, handle evidence, and talk directly to the jury. There's like a little desk type thing in front of the jury. And usually it has gloves in it and some other things. And she can get within a certain distance of the jury and talk to them face to face.
Okay.
But they've added security. They have 5 or 6 deputies now in the courtroom, stationed all over the place. They're going to watch her. Now, this sort of thing happened in the last case I covered, where the woman both did her own opening. She basically did everything a lawyer. And every time she got up and was talking to the jury or whatever, she was surrounded by deputies. There was a couple times where she got too close to the jury, and the deputy had to push her back a little bit. He just took his hand and said, nope.
Yeah, because you can't be too physical, because that implies...
No, well, you can't get within a certain
something.
distance. There's a barrier you have to observe.
Right.
Everybody has to observe that. And she was getting too close, and they had to keep coming, tell her to get back. And so the same thing's going to happen with Sarah. She's going to be instructed not to get too close to the jury. They're going to give her a certain mark on the floor, say, don't go beyond this area here.
Right.
And don't reach towards the jury or be aggressive with the jury. And so, but it's going to be a very interesting thing to watch, how she presents herself in this part of the trial.
Right. I know you might not be able to answer this right now, but do you really think she's going to get up and walk around? Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah, it's like I said, Neely Blanchard did this.
She did that, okay.
She had the freedom, because what she's going to do is she's going to walk over to the suitcase. She's going to, raise the suitcase and open it up. That's what I presume she's going to do.
Yeah.
In order to show the photographs to the jury, she's going to have to go over to the overhead projector next to the witness stand, like where it's the same place where the prosecution showed the pictures. They have a big overhead projector that sends the images to that huge TV screen that everybody looks at.
Right.
So she's going to use that to show the pictures of her injuries primarily, because it's got pictures of her all messed up and everything. And so she's going to show that, and be allowed to present her side of the story. Now, I don't know what the pool feed camera's going to do. And some of the more gruesome stuff, he's pulled away.
Yeah.
But if you take very carefully to look at the bottom left-hand corner of the projector screen, sometimes you get little bits of the pictures that come through. Parts of Jorge's body was shown, because when the lawyer took the picture out of the thing, it actually slid down, and if you followed it, you could see he was basically laying on his back next to the suitcase.
Right.
And some of his injuries came out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the way the cameraman was operating, you can't completely cover the screen.
Sure.
Yeah, he would have been better off to go to the seal if he wanted to conceal the contents for whatever guideline he has to follow.
Right. Now, Little Miss, you asked a question earlier about why is Sarah allowed to do this and other witnesses can't. And I would hazard a guess is because Owens is not going to be directing her. She basically is going to be.
It's going to be narration style.
Kind of like Robert Tellis. Sorry to interrupt. Like Robert Tellis. If you guys watch Robert Tellis like that, because the attorneys are afraid she will perjure herself. So he's just like Robert Tellis. Sarah's just going to basically give a monologue and narrate. Is that your take as well?
Yeah, it's my take as well.
Yeah.
This is agreed to by the judge and all parties, because the judge did not want to get into a lengthy thing, and he said the only thing I'm going to allow is for her to narrate her testimony.
Right.
And then he did remind her in the instructions that she can be cross-examined. Now, like I said before, Neely Blanchard was allowed to walk all over the court, both in her testimony and as her own lawyer. And Sarah will be allowed to do this. Since she is testifying and waiving her Fifth Amendment rights, courts will generally do this unless they think it's an especially violent person. And then they will not allow it. But they're giving her a lot about latitude in this trial.
Yeah.
So she
is tiny after all. I mean, it's not
she's
like
very,
she's
a small woman.
She's not going to judge jump. She's not going to jump the judge or anything like that.
No, she better not, because she's got about 5 detectives.
Yeah.
They're armed to the teeth.
I don't foresee her causing any
Now, I
problems.
doubt anything's going to happen along that.
Yeah.
She may get excited and yell and flail her arms around and stuff like that, and the judge will tell her to calm down.
Right.
But I don't see a gorilla moment where she lunges at anybody because there's nobody there.
Right.
There's no family there. It's just her and the court, and I can't see any reason for her to go ballistic.
Right. Well, Tellis, you didn't watch Tellis, but if you have a chance, go check that out, because he was same situation where he was a politician and a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
And he just got on the stand and narrated and just basically buried himself. He just could not.
That's
shut
the
up.
worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Even if you have the right to do it, to get up and take the stand.
Yeah.
Lawyers hate people when they do that. Say, don't do it.
Yep.
And I think there's only been one time, and I can't remember what the case was, where somebody got up in their own defense and actually won.
Oh, wow.
Acquittal.
Wow. Yeah. Tellis did not. He was not successful, and we watched it, and we were just like, it was a popcorn moment for sure, because he just buried himself.
Yeah, because the Blanchard case is the same way. I mean, she was an absolute disaster. I mean, during her closing, she absolutely blew up because the judge scorned her because of something that she was doing, and she just went nuts.
Right.
Said, got into all this conspiracy theory stuff. And it's like I repeatedly said, it took less than a half an hour to come back with a guilty verdict.
Yeah.
Because the reaction from the jury throughout that whole trial was, man, they were going like, what? And women, female jurors were glaring at her, and it was a mess.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, let's see, what else can we do to what other Sarah, I'm trying to think, what else happened? Help me, Chad. Do you have questions for Murt while he's here? The jury, we talked about the jury and their reaction. They're pretty stoic, taking notes. Nothing too spectacular has happened yet. Sarah, she's just kind of stoic, right? She's not really doing anything.
Well, now that she's basically going to be the star of the show, she's just like any other lawyer, doing paperwork, having a discussion. There was a brief moment, I'm not sure what the reason was, her and one of the bailiffs got into a discussion of some kind. I think the bailiff was probably telling her what she can and can't do when she gets up. But other than that,
So why is she grinning so much, and what is she writing? That so seems to be...
I have no idea what she's writing. I think she's just savoring the moment. Now she says, I'm important. I'm gonna get out of this stuff.
There's her 15 minutes of fame, if you will.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Right.
So she thinks she's she's a superstar.
Yeah, well, she testified in her baby voice. Well, we know she's going to do that. We know she's going to come across as demure and, I'm, this and that versus...
Yeah, she has that high octave voice, because I heard her answers to yes, 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 no, no, no.
Yeah.
It was that high octave.
I would think
So-
we're going to hear more of that. What you heard today when she was answering Judge Kranick's questions.
But the funny thing is,
that's what we're gonna
there's someone I used to know that talks exactly like her.
Oh,
Yeah, another woman, about
Yeah.
45, and she talks exactly.
wow.
I did a double take when I first heard it. I said, what?
Right.
Yeah.
So, Chad, do you have any other questions? Dwayne, Dwayne, I did see your question earlier about me video or filming on my way down or up. I leave it's at nighttime. I do want to record going to the tiny homes later today. And I was actually kind of hoping that I would be back here on Monday, but as it's leaning right now, we may be done by Friday.
Yeah,
We may be done. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, because the one defense attorney, Owen, I believe his name is, we were having bathroom talk, and
Well, you got to tell us about that.
yeah, he said, God, I hope this thing is done by Friday. And then I met him in the hall again, and I asked him, I said, is Sarah going to testify this afternoon? And he kind of went, you'll know.
Wow.
So he was telling me without telling me, because before
Right.
that he says, well, I'm not going to disclose, but
Right?
you'll know.
And Denny Dawn, surprised that that's against the rule. He's allowed to talk. Isn't that against the rules? Now,
I don't know, because he's,
it seems like prosecution is really buttoned up, right? But
yeah,
the
the
defense
you can't
is,
get anything out of the prosecution.
Yeah.
But he has actually approached me a couple times. I'll be just standing there and he says, oh, yes. And I go, what?
Wow.
I have never had a lawyer in a case come up and just start a conversation. I'm going, what the hell did I do to deserve this?
All right, let me ask you this: if I give you the birthday card for Sarah, do you think you can get it to Owens then?
Yeah, I'll try.
Just try. All right.
This will be a challenge.
All right.
The TV live challenge.
Okay.
Because there's, I can't guarantee it because there's a protocol.
I gotcha.
And I don't know if the lawyers are allowed to do that. It has to go through channels, but I'll give it a shot.
Try. Okay. All right. It's back at the hotel, so I'll bring it tomorrow. And we'll
Yeah,
see.
all right.
All I ask is just give it a shot. All right. So let's see what
What
else.
I can do is I
Challenge
can
accepted.
ask them and tell them what we want to do.
Oh yeah, say we have a birthday card for Sarah because
Uh-huh.
we thought we'd be here for 10:10, and say we have a birthday card. Our channel, your channel, our channel has a birthday card for her, and if it would be okay for Mr. Owens just to receive it, to look at it, and at least to show her. That's all. That's all we're
Yeah,
asking.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Because that's all up to the rules and what the attorneys want to do.
Understood. All we can do is try. That's all we can do is try. All right. Let's see. What other questions do you have, Chad? Anything else before we let Murt go get some food? And if you want to add anything, do we?
No, it's just that I think we're hitting a popcorn moment here. So everybody get their
Yeah.
popcorn, their coffee, or whatever else you want to swallow, because this is going to be one hell of an afternoon.
Yeah. Mr. KKJ, yes, acid is put on paper or anything. I mean, you could, yeah, sure, you're right. Anything could be on that paper. I agree. Yeah, I agree. And Candy Kitten, your birthday is 10/10 as well. Well,
Well, that was my birthday,
your birthday's 10/10.
October 10th, 1950.
There you go. How about that?
Yeah, I'm an
All right.
old grump.
Hopefully, no more delay tactics. That's true. All right. So when we come back from lunch, what can we expect?
Okay, they're probably going to go right into it. The only thing they'll probably do is they'll get the pictures introduced into evidence, and then they're off and rolling. Because the judge told them to get everything out of the way during lunch. I don't want any more delays, basically. He didn't say those exact words.
Right.
But, you could get the gist of, let's get this done, get her on the stand. Because he doesn't like this going to 6 o'clock in the afternoon with these trials,
Right.
because it's a big inconvenience to the jury. So he wants to get this on track.
Sure, of
And
course.
so he's trying to get, and it's the defense that's screwing all this up. So they're trying to get them
Again, they've been screwing it up
Again.
the entire time. Yeah.
So
Candy Kitten, you asked what's Judge K's demeanor or attitude? What do you think? How's
he's been quite fair. He's all business, level-headed, no shouting or anything like that.
Yeah.
When he kicked the girl out of the court yesterday, all he did, he was very stern, told her, it says the attorneys have requested that you be
Right. But polite.
taken out
He's
of the
very
court. He was
polite.
very polite,
Very
didn't
polite,
yell,
yeah.
didn't scream, didn't chew her out. The only time he really got mad is when someone screwed up with their phone.
Ah, okay.
And then he said, if you can't control your phone, you're going to be asked to leave. Does everybody understand that?
Right, right.
So that was...
Now, he did seem a little perturbed at this very last, how long will it take you, Owens? He said 15 minutes. He did seem a little put out by that, I thought.
Yeah, he was not happy with the defense for not having this done. He's, this is where the 45 minutes comment came in. Said, you had 45 minutes to get this done. Why are we discussing this now? And then he says, all right, during the break, you guys need to get this done. Get everything done. And then this thing with the suitcase came up, so I don't know. We left the courtroom, so I don't know what was the resolution to that.
And you don't know what came out of the suitcase? You
No,
just saw
nobody knows.
something...
Nobody in the gallery knows. All they know is apparently when it was tipped up, the thing came flying out.
Okay.
Because they did it differently this time. Before, they would, with a box upright, they would lift the suitcase out of the box and then set it down. But for some reason, they flipped the box upside down and let the suitcase fall to the ground. And when they did, this item came out with it. And so they're, because you see that when I walked in, the prosecution was standing there with the box upside down at a 45-degree angle, and everybody's looking up inside the box and looking on the ground. So there was something in the box, or probably in the suitcase in the box, that came out when it was tipped over.
Okay.
Because they had, they stood the suitcase up, and she was kind of looking at the zipper on it, and I think trying to work the zipper.
All right. Just keeps
figure
getting...
out how she's going to do that.
Just keeps getting better and better. This trial just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, this is her OJ moment.
All right, let's see. Kitchi, is that just that the jury shouldn't be allowed to hear them discussing because it could be prejudicial?
Yeah, the jury was not
Katya,
anywhere
good to see you.
in there.
Green-eyed cat, hello. Good to see you. Let me just see if you guys have any final questions for Murt. What are you gonna go grab for lunch?
I'll probably go over to 7-Eleven and get some rotten food.
Okay.
Dried out hot dog or something.
Dried out hot dog. I brought a little sandwich for myself. Yes, y'all go please eat. Yeah, I've been snacking on nuts the whole time, so I'm good. Don't forget to sub to our channel, hit notifications, become a member, subscribe, all that good stuff. And any final questions? You guys need to go eat. You have 30 minutes left. Oh, okay, little miss, 30 minutes to go. Thanks for the live. All right, Pammy, thank you. Thanks for being with us. All right, I guess that's it.
Okay, everybody.
All right, guys. Yep.
See you in court.
All right, thanks.
All right. Oh, make like a